We give the simplest tips possible so that you can grow in all 6 aspects of health on your own journey to being a millionaire. My name is Austin. If you haven't met me, I've founded over 30 companies. I'm a big-time entrepreneur, and I'm a big-time small business champion. But here today, my whole goal with this TV series is to share as much knowledge as possible that's simple, so everybody can improve in all 6 aspects of health. Today, we've got 3 awesome entrepreneurs. We're focusing on financial health through entrepreneurship. I'm going to take each guest on. I'm going to talk to them for about 5 minutes. They're going to give us this awesome little tip on how to improve your financial health through entrepreneurship, if you so choose. And then I'll start off with my own tip. My number one tip for entrepreneurship is kind of contradictory to some of the famous entrepreneurs, but I say just do it and quit your fucking job. A lot of people say work the 3 hours after your job, work your 9 to 5, make sure you stay security. I say that's exactly the wrong thing for entrepreneurship. It's not about security. When you quit your job, I guarantee you're going to find out how to find success. You're going to find money. You're going to find revenue, and you're going to learn everything you can because your entire fucking income depends on it. With that being said, we're going to pull up Clint Riggin, who's one amazing man. And I guess I'll let him talk about himself. Morning, Clint. How you doing?
Good morning, Austin. Man, I don't know how I can go after you. That was 30 companies. Guys, I own 2 companies. One is Limitless Coaching. 2 amazing companies. One is Limitless Coaching, where we help CEOs, executives, C-suite entrepreneurs help optimize their body. And then I also run Nexus, which is holistic wellness events in San Diego. But my number one tip and something that I learned is when you go into business, do not think you need to go into a partnership because it's going to aid you in your business. The first step that I did was I had a partnership right when I started Limitless Coaching. My partners were in Australia, and I thought because they were going to take a percentage of the company that it was the best way instead of doing 1099 contracting or just paying them on a retainer. Well, what I learned was that if somebody is out of country, you literally cannot sue. So if anything happens, you're fucked. Okay, so that's exactly what I learned in my entrepreneurship journey. So the whole partnership thing is great, but I want you to stay away from that because truly you can do this on your own and just hire out. That's all you need to do.
That's interesting. I feel like I've learned almost the opposite lately, but I've also done a lot more. I have a lot more, maybe more on my plate, but I used to do everything on my own, and I've found that having a partner now. So to your point, maybe I don't need to be giving away equity. A lot of people say giving away equity is a poor decision. For me personally, in my journey, at this point, I love like 50-50 splits in every business simply because it's less work for me as well. Right. If I had to do, at this point, I'm exhausted. I mean, you already know I'm moving the Virgin Islands, selling all my businesses. It's a lot of work. I wouldn't trade it for anything, obviously, but partnerships, yeah, that's an interesting thing. So what are you doing now? You're no longer giving away equity to any of your companies?
Well, the crazy thing is, and that I learned in this, and it's going to kind of what I just said, right, was somebody in a different country. Okay. And you talk about the 50-50 split, right?
Okay.
So
that's the important part.
For the people that are watching this, is I had a 14-month depression. I grew my business to 250 clients. I hadn't made $500,000. Like I made $500,000. It was amazing. But I pushed away my family, my friends, and relationships because you talk about the time. I worked 18-hour days for 1 year straight. Yep. So now that I'm giving 50% to somebody who knows how to do marketing and funnels and Facebook ads and all of that, I'm the face of the company, but we're hiring coaches, we're hiring CSMs, we're doing all of the work that I should have done before. And the monetary value does not matter to me as long as I'm able to help entrepreneurs optimize their body, because I understand how you can work yourself to death and you're not giving yourself 100% to your family, your employees, the relationships in your life. And that's truly what I want people to see, is like the people that I talk to, they do not have the energy because they're working all the time. They do not know their nutrition. They don't know the data behind their body at all. So being able to incorporate 4 different fundamentals into the coaching is it really what I want to show people. Like, you can live the life you want to live and own a business, but also take care of yourself as well.
We have about 1 minute left. So let's focus more on the partnership aspect. So you
Yeah.
are partnering. Are there certain aspects about the partner that you're looking for before you sign away 50% of your company or sell it, or however you want to do that?
So the best thing about it is 51-49. So I'm gonna have that 51%.
Okay. So retain
But
ownership control. Okay.
exactly. And the biggest thing for me was that he was a client with me 2 years ago. He's been through the program. He
Okay.
understands how it works. And now he wants to help people feel the way he felt and see how great the program was and how easy it was for somebody to follow. And he's a great marketer. He knows how to write copy. He knows, I don't know how to do all that. I write all my own posts. I do all my Instagram posts. Like, I don't know how to really get in front of that right audience. I'm just a very good networker and I can connect with people very easily. So when it comes to the partnership, I want to focus on the nexus. That's going to be my baby.
Very cool.
This is going to be something I can help people on a bigger level.
Awesome. So that's Clint Riggin, everybody. His big piece
Thanks,
of
guys.
advice is make sure with your partnership you find the right partner and that they're not overseas, because then the contract doesn't matter. Thanks, Clint. We'll bring you back in a little bit here.
Thanks, awesome.
All right. Our next guest here is named Josh. Josh, who are you?
Who am I, huh? Well, that people have a hard time defining that sometimes because I have several companies. I'm the CEO and founder of a tech company called Lane Hero. I run an entertainment company that sells to fraternities, sororities, and municipalities, A-list artists and production.
Party time.
Yeah, I have a pasta brand and a freight brokerage and several other little business ventures.
By the way, his pasta's amazing.
Thanks. So yeah, that's who I am. And
do you have a little tip or trick for us to improve our financial health through entrepreneurship?
My tip is set your daily goals to stack your wins. So, I come, as you know, Austin, I come from a pretty seedy past. And so my illegitimate entrepreneur journey led me to this thing. And it's this mentality that I carry with me to this day, that if you haven't made $200 by 10 o'clock, like, you need to get after it. Right. And
ooh, that's a good $200 by 10 o'clock. All right.
$200 by 10 o'clock and getting those wins early, even if you've got to wake up that extra hour or you've got to stack your intensity of your calls and shorten your timelines on your sales cycles. Like that goal alone, if you stack that over 5 days a week, 25 days out of the month, roughly over a course of a year's time, and you keep that intensity throughout the day, your financial health will improve. And then even going one further than that same intensity and going hard for, your family and your employees and your, relationships and your friendships is all the same thing. So, get up and get after it.
Awesome. Is there any specific moment when you kind of learned this tip and decided that you wanted to start implementing it?
Well, where I learned it from was selling drugs early.
10 a.m. was when your drug sales had to be at 200?
You had to make 200 by 10 a.m. or you were losing rank and you were not getting as many fronts and you weren't getting the opportunities that other players in the game were. So I just, my story is that I put down that life and transferred a lot of those skills into legitimate business. But to this day, like after I do my golden hour meditation and stuff, like I'm on the phone or I'm in my email and I'm making that outbound type of reach to create and generate those sales. I'm not passively waiting for that stuff to come to me and attract to me. Although I have marketing and I have lots of other things that get my name out there, at the end of the day, outreach is where it's at, and making those touches consistently throughout the week and the month and stuff on your existing clients is where you create more revenue.
Very cool. Very cool. We got about less than a minute left. Any last tips or tricks you want to talk about with that? What gave you the number 200? Is that just your own personal goal?
Well, it was just kind of one of those things where if you make 200 over 20 days, 25 days, you hit the type of revenue that you're looking for.
Okay, so
And
obviously you could change that to 100 if you're just starting out, or
yeah,
500 if you're
$5, $20, like any of that that's going to get you to your goals, because it's just a reverse engineer of a goal essentially.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. So if you're just starting out, I mean, your first day, you could say, I need to make $5 by 10 a.m.
Yep.
And then the rest of it could go. If you're, month 2, you could say $10 by 10 a.m.
Stack it out.
As you're building and building, you just got to set your goals higher and higher, but you can start out as small as $5 by 10. And, even if you're doing a side hustle, or, you still got your 9 to 5, maybe your 9 to 5 starts at 9. Maybe you have a goal of, $5 before 9, before I go to work.
Or, like in one example of a friend of mine who's actually a pretty famous person, they were working at Jimmy John's, but they sold weed out of the drive-through, and their same goal was 200 by 10 a.m. at the drive-through in Jimmy John's, and the drive-through opened at 9 a.m. So like they had this hour window to make what they were trying to make for the day.
Oh,
and now they're a very famous rap artist. So like,
oh boy. Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. We don't have to say what it is.
Yeah, well, I don't want to,
Yeah, we'll keep that in the DL. But anyway, this is Josh. His tip for the day is set a tiny goal of an amount of money to make before like 10 a.m. I mean, you could really be flexible and say noon, depending on your schedule. If you're just starting out, you could say $5 by noon, something of that sort. If you're just starting out with e-commerce or consulting, maybe one consulting client a day. But monetize and break it down by day, I think, is really what you're trying to go for there. Yeah,
very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Josh. I'll bring you back in a couple minutes. Next up, we have Lori. Lori, who are you?
Oh, I'm actually a mother. I'm older than a lot of people that haven't been in entrepreneurship very long. I'm
Okay.
50. Did you know?
Yeah. Oh, you look 20 to me. I thought you were a young whippersnapper.
Yeah. I've got 3 adult children, 4 grandchildren.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And still is an entrepreneur.
Yeah. That I'll probably be that until I die, because I just believe that we are the backbone of America, and supporting one another is where it's at. That's what my passion is, to help others, be better in any way they can. I'm passionate in helping others in life, especially entrepreneurs, obviously. But I teach financial education, basically concepts that weren't taught to us in school. I do have a kettle corn business.
Yummy kettle corn as well. Also eating that. Note that I know their food companies.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that's it, between grandchildren and.
All right. Well, what do you have a little tip for us for anyone trying to improve their financial health through entrepreneurship?
Yeah, definitely be open to education. No matter what company or what you're trying to do, just always try to be better. Educate yourself more.
Education. Okay.
Yeah. Learn to manage your budget, for one. Obviously reading books and listening to podcasts that will help you grow.
Like also. This one.
Yeah. Advice. Always save and invest in a way where your money's working for you.
Smart. So all those little tips, education is going to be one of the biggest ways.
Yeah.
Learn how to save, learn how to invest. Watch Millionaires Are Made every week.
There you go. Yeah.
Great. So how did you kind of learn about this? We have 1 minute, by the way.
Well, when I learned about some of the concepts that I was not taught in school, they're not taught in school. Unless you're wealthy, then you know them. But my mind totally shifted. And I was like, holy shit, everybody needs to know this stuff. I wish I would have known it when I was 16 and pregnant, because my life would have been different, but that's not what God planned for me. So now here I am.
Now you're a mother and a grandmother teaching others.
Yeah. And I'm just trying to build a legacy where my grandchildren will be proud and they'll be set for life. So.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Well, that's Lori. We're going to wrap that up real quick here. Her tip is education. Learn about specifically financial stuff, but learning. listening, reading, watching YouTube, doing whatever you can to learn about your financial health.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound right, Lori?
Yes, correct.
Awesome. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed those 3 guests. We're going to go ahead and bring them all back in, and we will take any kind of questions from the audience. Anyone that's watching right now can feel free to input their questions for them. If you like any of these guests and want to hang out with them separately, we'll be posting all their contact info. So if you want to go talk to them one-on-one or go take one of their courses or whatever it is, or just learn, all 3 of them will not charge anything. They'll respond to text messages and Facebook messages, however you want to contact them. They're all givers. So feel free, reach out, say hi, ask them whatever you want to ask specifically. We will probably have more one-on-one longer podcasts with each of them on my other podcast, Arm Brands, in the future. But for now, just contact them. Shoot them a message. They love talking to people and sharing their thing. We're going to bring all 3 of them out right now, and we're going to go talk about each other's tips. And then we're going to come up with a weekly challenge for the next week so everyone can improve their financial health. And so we'll discuss that right about now. Clint, Josh, and Lori. Hey guys. So let's take a couple minutes here, maybe like a minute. Everyone do like 2 or 3 sentences on Clint's tip. So have any of you had any partnerships with overseas partners? Yep. Josh, how'd it go?
So it's definitely a complicated thing to navigate. And I encountered the same thing about legally binding contracts. So I have a partner in Italy with my pasta brand.
That's
and
right.
We actually had to take and do an incorporation in Italy and an incorporation in the United States to create contracts with both so that there was some type of accountability. But, you know, in particular, Italy, their government is not the most stable thing on the planet. And so, like, there's definitely some inherent risk for having an international partner. And I think that that relationship building aspect of it is just so huge because and everybody understanding that there is bigger risk because it's like shit can crumble really, really quick. And it only takes that one, not even a wrong move, man. You can do all the right things and something circumstantially happen that just crumbles the whole infrastructure on an international deal like that.
Lori, have you ever had an international partnership?
No.
All right. I'll tell you real quick a couple stories of mine. So back in like 2013, I had a company called Instatricity. We developed power banks when they were really hot before they're like mass produced. And my engineers designed ones that charged iPhone and Android, and the cable hid. So it was like a credit card size, and it charged about 60%, but you could slide it. It was, I think, exactly 4 millimeters thick. So it was about twice the size of a credit card.
Wow.
Really cool technology. To get exclusivity, so they would only produce it for me out of China. It was like $100,000. I didn't have that money. So I said, whatever, we'll just market it. We ended up sponsoring the Pan Am Games. So every American Olympian had one of them. Really cool time. And my buddy also, he did almost the same thing with a waterproof phone case before they were popular. I remember we went to CES, Consumer Electronics Show, and we saw about 4 to 5 different companies that had his exact same case because he did not pay for exclusivity either. And at that point, he goes, man, I got to sell my inventory out. As soon as they develop a cool product, they try to produce as much as they can. And unless you have that exclusivity, which, I mean, nowadays, I don't even know if you can enforce that, you know, just kind of like Clint said, like they might sign it and take your $100,000, but they might try to only sell it to like Thailand or maybe different regions or something like that to hide it from you. But I don't know if I really would trust much of anything that you can't enforce legally. So, all right, let's move to Josh's tip. Clint, Lori, I have a feeling you guys have some daily goals. I don't know if it's 200 by 10 a.m., but go ahead, Clint.
No, that's a great point, honestly, when you think about like, okay, so I want to make $200 by, you said 10 a.m.? Is that what you said?
I am.
$200 by 10 a.m. So a big thing that I ran into my business was that I didn't have MRR, so I didn't have monthly recurring revenue. So I was always chasing my next client, right? So what I'm doing differently now is the partnerships that I have, we have monthly recurring revenue. We have percentages so that every affiliate that we have, when people order supplements, when people order meals, whatever that might be, our partnerships are going to give us a good amount each time. So I know all of my clients are going to need meals. They're going to need supplements. And then also with the hormone replacement therapy, there's a monthly reoccurring on that as well. So that is something so big that entrepreneurs need to know, especially in a service-based business. When you're just searching for the next client, you're gonna burn yourself out. So have a product, have a package, have something that you can actually give, and it's tangible that they can use, and then you could sell as well. So that's a great tip, Josh.
Lori, you have anything to say on that?
That is a great tip, and I kind of like tried that with the kettle corn, but I ended up focusing more on the education aspect of the financial industry. And my goal is just basically to contact at least 20 people a day.
Mm-hmm.
And
20 people a day. Do you have a set time or like before 5 p.m.?
Well, yeah, I have it set up between 9 and noon, and that's a lot of time to contact that many people.
Yes,
but some people are a little bit chatty.
Do you call them or text them or message them?
I prefer to call them. I do all, but I prefer to call. But my goal is just to help them, get them on the schedule, to show them some concepts, because we do like 3 schedules, 3 different things. And then whatever they do with the concepts is on them. But I just want them to know. I don't want to leave anybody behind, because like I said, I'm older, and I recently learned this not too long ago. And like I said, if I was 16 and again and knew this, it would be different for me. It's a total game changer, and the money will come. So I'm more focused on helping people with these concepts.
That's a great point too, that the goal doesn't necessarily have to be a dollar amount. It can be a tangible thing that's attached to that dollar amount. Like if you need to schedule a certain amount of appointments a day, or you need to make a certain amount of connection calls, like it's all the same concept on a daily deal, right? Like, because you're going to get to the MMR like Clint's talking about.
Exactly.
And I think we all agree, brick by brick, essentially, if you're doing 20 calls a day, whatever it is, it's consistency and stacking it every day. So either you're doing 200 by 10 every day, great. And then you're eventually going to 250, 300, or, like Clint, you're setting up like a new client every day, or at least, or like Lori, 20 calls every day of potential new clients. It's just, you can start small. Every day before I go to work, I want to call one person about my company, my product, or my service. Every day I want to make $5 before I go to work. We can all start out small. Everyone should have a side hustle. I know most Americans, at least, and most in the world, are not passionate about their current 9 to 5. So if you're not passionate about it, find something you are and set that small goal. $5 a day, $1 a day. I just want to talk to someone a day. I want to talk to one person every day about what I'm passionate about, and that's it. I want to make a Facebook post, and I want to make 1 call, and that's my day. Okay, do that for 2-3 weeks. Next week, okay, now I want to make 2 calls and 2 Facebook posts, and I'll schedule 1 for the evening. I'll do 1 in the morning, schedule on the next one, and do 2. It's all about just that. Yeah, that's a good tip, Josh. Come up with something solid, and each day you just make sure you're stacking it and doing that and growing from there. Yep. All right, Lori's all about, I think you guys all are going to agree with this one real easily. Education, self-improvement and education, learning about fucking everything, learning about whatever industry in your product, learning about yourself, learning about how you interact with people, all that kind of stuff. One thing that I make my team, most of them do, hopefully they all adhere to it, is every day we read 10 pages nonfiction. And I took that from 75 hard. You are right, Clint?
50. Yeah, day 50. Let's go, baby.
Man, it's easy after that. Now you're in the zone.
Yeah.
So 10 pages every day, nonfiction. I don't know. I have stacks of books I still need to read, because every time I see one, I just buy it. They're all like $10 off Amazon. So I have like 50 more books to go through. But I love education, man. You have to learn, especially this day and age. You got to learn AI now. We got to learn all this other new stuff. You got something to say about that, Josh?
Yeah, I in particular, the self-education is something that really changed the dynamic of my life, because I had to go from being very aggressive in my interactions, is the way I'm going to put it, to really understanding how I come across to people and how I can communicate with my team or customers or different, vendors and different stuff, and the dynamics of those relationships. And the only way to really get there with it is to understand yourself intimately first, right? And I think especially as entrepreneurs, we have a tendency to get caught in the hustle and ADHD, a million things going, and to be able to focus back on who we authentically are and our reasons for doing this and what we're really trying to put out in the world, like, can root you to that communication piece with other people, because people are different.
Very true. Very true. Clint, do you hate education?
I love education. Honestly, I love it. I listen to a podcast every single day. Like, if you guys haven't listened to Gary Brecka and who's the UFC owner?
Not Joe Rogan.
Not Joe Rogan. You know who I'm talking about. The guy who owns UFC. He put out a podcast with Gary Brecka today that was truly incredible, talking about exactly what I do for our clients, about tracking their data, the blood work, and the metabolic cycle, and all these different things. So I was like, wow, like, this guy's about to take over biohacking in the world. It's absolutely insane. So I always like learning about the new things. And also, I don't know if you guys listen to Ed Milet too. Like, Ed Milet is probably the smartest man I've ever heard when it comes to motivational speaking and just like truly getting. No, I haven't. The Power One More?
Power One More, yeah.
I read half of it. I haven't read the whole thing.
How do you even not? I couldn't even put it down, man. Yeah, no, Ed Milet and his story, I think all of us were there.
Yeah.
One or two of the times I've seen him speak, but his One More speech is probably one of the best speeches I've ever seen or heard or cried to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. For sure. So, yeah, I would say podcasts are a big thing for me. 75 Hard, I read 10 pages a day. So I'm on my third book right now. Leadership 2.0 by John C. Maxwell is absolutely incredible. Being in a leadership role, as we all are, we need to know how to lead. So, yeah, that's my tidbit.
2.0. By who?
John C. Maxwell.
Well, that's going to be bought in the next 20 minutes. It'll sit on a shelf. I need to up it to like 50 pages a day. I'll be reading on the beach in the Virgin Islands all day, every day.
There you go.
Yeah, you will.
Cool. All right, guys, we got about 2.5 minutes left. Let's go over a weekly challenge. So the goal with this is every day we can all go to our Brick by Brick group on Facebook, and we can post or Millionaires Are Made group. Both of these will have it. We're going to just have a weekly challenge and have people post and comment and take pictures showing that they did it. So we need to think of some way that tiny little thing that we can do to have a little challenge. And all three of you and me are all included. So we're going to have to show proof that we do this challenge. What do you guys think we should do?
Ooh. I mean,
it's not much of a challenge for me, but 10 pages a day is something I would be interested in.
Yeah, I'd say like either listen to a podcast or read 10 pages a day. Like, you're doing some sort of education with yourself. I think that's a good one.
Let's pick one or the other.
10 pages.
10 pages. 10 pages a day.
All right, so let's make a weekly challenge for the next 7 days. Everyone reads 10 pages. We'll have our team go on Millionaires Are Made and the Brick by Brick group. We'll post links to that as well on this chat here in a second once we post this, and let everyone go get involved. And we can take pictures, or you can just tell us what book it is. I mean, it's your own challenge. You either do it or you don't. I'm not going to be mama-ing you and watching to make sure, but a little bit of accountability can always help.
I love it. Let's do it.
Cool. Any last words, guys, or we're about to wrap this up?
No, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
cool.
Thank you for having us. And hey, if you guys got any questions, I'm sure you can reach out to any one of us. We'll answer our DMs. We'll give you some information, some knowledge, and give you the right resources that you need.
Perfect. Sounds like a plan. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Do we stay here?
No, you leave. Go away.
No, be gone.